Hey, you ever notice every year around tax time, preachers start preaching on tithing? They counting your coins. They counting your coins. Lord. Thank you for joining us today, and we're going to be talking about continue our series on the miseducation of tithing. Miseducation number 3. The people did not have money in those days, and they only had agriculture products to barter with. That's a lie. Now, one of the words for money in Hebrew is kesep. That's Keseph. It means silver or money. Now, the earliest mention of kesep or money in the Bible is seen in Genesis 17 and 12. Here, God gives Abraham instructions regarding circumcision. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house of or brought with your money, or any stranger which is not of thy seed. Here we have the first mention of money, a few chapters after Abraham tithed to Melchizedek. How about that? So you'll see quite a few mentions of the use of money in Genesis. Let's skip down to Genesis 23 and 16, see what it says. Now, as a quick backstory, what you have here is a conversation between Abraham and Ephron, the Hittite, regarding some land Abraham would like to purchase to bury his wife Sarah on. And basically, Ephron is offering to give him the land freely, but Abraham insisted on paying for the land with the money. I had to give it to Abraham for that one, because I probably would have took that land and been like, deuces. But anywho, Abraham had integrity. Let's read. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighted it to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth. It was 400 shekels of silver, current money value with the merchant. Now, today's value, that 300 shekels of silver would have been around approximately $5,000 or so. Give or take a few $200. Okay. So let's keep in mind this transaction happened a few chapters after Abraham's encounter with Melchizedek and way before the establishment of the Mosaic Law. Let's look at a very interesting mention of the word money within the Mosaic Law. In Deuteronomy 14, verse 22 through verse 26, God says to the children of Israel that they would tithe all the increase of their seed and their field every year, and God would designate a place each year for them to bring their tithe and eat it before the Lord. So basically, it was like a festive gathering, right? So God tells the children of Israel that if the place that he designates for this gathering is too far away for them to carry their tithe, in verse 25 it reads, then shalt thou turn it into money and bind up the money in thine hand, and shalt go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. Verse 26 reads, and thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, that's that Hennessy right there, or for whatsoever thy soul desires, and thou shalt eat it before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. So here's a clear indication of a distinction for what God called a tithe and for what he called money. Now also notice he did not tell them to bring the money to the altar. Isn't that something? But he told them that they should bestow or buy whatever their soul lusts after in order to eat and rejoice before the Lord. Now, I wonder how many tithe preachers would tell you that. No, they're going to tell you to bring that money to that bucket. Anyway, so how did the modern day tithe become money, you ask? Well, it was made a law by the Catholic Church in between the year 567 and 585. It was made in order to ensure the proper and permanent support of the clergy. Basically, them jokers didn't want to work no more. So the earliest positive legislation on the subject was contained in a letter of the bishops assembled at the Tours in 567 and of the Council of Macon in 585. Real interesting stuff. Basically, what they did was change the commandment of God from tithing of the seed of the land to tithing with money. And this deception has continued until this day, people. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1 through 3. It reads, "But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And through covetousness shall they with fiend words make merchandise of you, whose judgment for now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not." People, you cannot change the word of God to fit your narrative. Even in Matthew 24 and 35 says, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." Check out Deuteronomy 4 and 2. It says, "You shall not add unto which I have commanded you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that you may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you." You ever notice how some preachers say that they changed the word of God? They changed the tithing to fit the modern day times? Yeah, they'll tell you that. Yo, we changed it. Even in Revelations 22 and 18, it reads, "For I testify unto every man that heareth the word of this prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book." God is very, very serious about his word, and you should not add to it, and you definitely shouldn't take away from it. And I tell you the truth, those preachers who teach this revised or upgraded tithing doctrine have done both. Now, if you would like to know more about the miseducation of tithing, select this video right here, and we're going to keep on keeping on.